What up, Talkin Fight fans? Thanks for tuning in to today's episode of the Knockout of the Week Award, hosted by yours truly, Mike Orr, and my man, Cedric Ben, doing what we do best, and that's showing you who won the Knockout of the Week. And it's none other than our man, Joe Cordina, with his knockout over Kenichi Ogawa. Second round. Let's talk about this vicious one-punch shot heard around the world.
Heard around the world. Perfect. He plays straight right hand. He was looking for it. You can tell he was looking for it. This is actually this is the same punch that George Kambosos was looking for the whole night against Devin Haney, but Haney had that jab in his face the whole night. But that's another thing.
Yeah, that's another thing. We'll touch on that in a minute or two.
Joe Cordina was able to land that perfect straight right hand over top of Akinawa's weak jab. It wasn't over top. It was just like he just looked for it. Like Akinawa popped a couple of jabs, and they were just like he knew the distance. Cordina knew his distance. Like the jabs were just landing right here, so he just knew next time that jab comes, boom, good night. As I watch the highlight right now.
I watched it live, and I called you right away, man, to tell you this was definitely going to be our winner for the knockout of the week, man. With this fight, Joe Cordina became Wales' latest world champion with a stunning second round knockout over Kenichi Ogawa in front of a rowdy home crowd at Cardiff's Motorpoint Arena. Cordina's finish came from nowhere, but eliminated by any doubt that the Welshman is a talent ready for the big stage now. He has his hands on the IBF super featherweight strap already. This is great, man. The opening round was a cagey affair with both fighters, tried to assert their authority early on. Cordina opened, with his accurate jab, while Ogawa preferred outright aggression to get ahead. The fight would take a similar theme for the remainder of the rounds, but that logic quickly disappeared moments into the second round. With a more patient approach, Cordina kept his distance, and when he noticed Ogawa's chin was exposed, he unleashed that punch, of his career, the punch of his career, really. That was an instant show closer. The Japanese star, a widely respected world champion, did all he could to beat the count, but there was no way he could regain his senses as the referee counted him out. Honestly, it was huge shot. Big finish. Definitely one to be talked about for weeks to come, and probably going to be one of these runner-ups for knockout of the year, man. To be honest, I was very impressed with that shot. It was literally like a shotgun blast that took this guy out, man. And
yeah, you called me right away.
That
called me right away. Did you see that? Holy
Did you see that knockout? Yeah. Oh my God. Guys, if you haven't seen it yet, we're definitely going to drop a link to it in the comments so you guys don't have to go far searching for it, man. What a brilliant knockout this one was, guys. If you haven't seen it yet, check it out. If you don't know who Joe Cordina is, Joe Cordina is touted by many to be a future star in the sport in years to come, possessing blistering hand speed, an authoritative ring IQ. The Welsh Wizard has caught the eye of boxing public since he turned professional in 2017. He won his first title in his 7th pro fight, stopping Hakeem Ben Ali to become the WBA International Lightweight Champ by the summer of 2019. Cordina had won and defeated the British and Commonwealth titles. The Welshman has since moved down to super feather to continue his journey towards world honors. And last night was definitely one of those world honors that he dropped down to get. And wow, what a knockout, guys. Our man, Joe Cordina, Knockout of the Week award goes to you, brother, with that blistering, vicious knockout of Kenichi Ogawa. Want to talk? Let's talk a little bit about. I guess we got to talk about it, man. The Haney fight.
Yeah. Just real quick, one last thing about Okinawa and Cordina. Okinawa, you're right. What you said about his aggression, right? He wasn't making a secret what his game plan was.
Yeah.
And so usually with guys like that, boxers like Cordina was doing usually take a few more rounds just to make sure that that they can figure things out before they not detonate off that big bomb. Like how Tank took like 5-6 rounds to figure out Rolly first at that perfect timing to land that overhand left. Cordina, he figured him out right away. It was second round. He was like, okay, now it's time. Boom, good night. So that was very good timing, and he capitalized on it early. He didn't wait for the later rounds.
Definitely.
Haney and Campbell.
Wow. Well, you did call it. I'll give you that one. You did call it. You did call it. You did say that it was going to go the distance. It was going to go to Haney. I, on the other hand, was on the other side of that prediction, and I was calling Kambosos, man. I thought he had what it took to bring it to Haney last night. Haney did establish that jab early on in the fight, and that is the factor. That is the factor that set the pace for the fight, and had Kambosos not able to set up properly, man. Every time he got tagged with that jab, he had to reset. And another thing, he was only coming at him with 2 hit combinations, which was easy for Haney to catch on. And so, he wasn't worried about each exchange because he knew that each exchange was only going to happen with 2 hits. So as long as he was able to weather those 2 hits and then get out and tag him.
Yeah,
it was a frustrating fight for Kambosos, who was unable to let his hands go the way he wanted to display his speed the way he wanted to, and that knockout power that he had was all foiled by the jab. This is why we talk about it, folks. This is why we talk about the jab and establishing your jab and working with your jab. The jab can foil anybody's plan if it's timed right. And prime example, last night, Kambosos not able to get set up the way he wanted to be able to dish out the shots that he wanted to, because Haney established that jab early and was frustrating Kambosos with him not being able to put together the combinations that he wanted, man, that we all know Kambosos Jr., for the way he performs, is those crazy combos, vicious hand power, speed. He just wasn't able to get going last night, and that's all because Haney working that wonderfully displayed jab. Anything you want to touch on about that fight?
I hear the disappointment in your voice.
Yeah. There is a bit of disappointment. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little disappointed that Moses didn't come through with the victory.
No, he. I think it wasn't the case of George not being able to, or the reason why George wasn't able to get off like people were expecting to, was just simply because of that jab. Even after the fight, you see how Kambosos' face was all marked up. That was 90% because of the jab. I mean, obviously, Haney did land a few right hands and hooks here once in a while, but like 90% of the reason why Kambosos could not get anything off was simply because of the educated jab of Devin Haney. He'd mix it up. Sometimes he would, I always talk about mixing up the tempo of your shot. Sometimes you can throw a hard FU jab to make your opponent's head snap back, that make them hesitate. And sometimes you can move around on your toes and just pop, 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 just to flick it at them, just to make them hesitate for a sec. So Kambosos didn't know the timing of which one he can come in on. So sometimes you just try to just charge in, eat a couple jabs, throw a couple air balls. That's what I call it when guys throw punches and then just miss everything. In basketball, miss everything, air ball. And that was just a boxing clinic. And as I mentioned on the show this morning, a lot of times when there's fights like this, when it's a one-sided fight, people would call it boring. Now, it's one thing if it's one-sided, if it's a really good guy versus a mismatch, an obvious mismatch. But when it's 2 guys at the top level and one guy simply pitches a no-hitter like in baseball, that shouldn't be called boring. It should be celebrated as great boxing and with just us witnessing great boxing. That's what we witnessed last night, was great boxing skills, not a boring fight.
Very, very, very. It was a very technical fight. Both men were feeling each other out very, for the first few rounds, and it was a very technical bout. Definitely. And that technique, man, and that jab, establishing that jab is the main factor. That Haney pulled ahead and was able to win pretty much every round, man. I believe that I believe Kambosos was only given 2 of the 12 rounds.
You had the keyword was right there.
Yes, keyword given.
They had to get out the binoculars and really look and search for something because honestly, I did not, and I didn't give him 1 round. I tried, but
it was very hard. It was a very hard. Well, no, it really wasn't hard to score that one. It wasn't hard, but some of the rounds were close. Yes. But yeah, Haney came through, man, edging through with the victory of every round there, man, to be honest. And you know what? It just goes to show you, man, dedication and heart and determination, man, have put him on top of the world. 23 years old. He's now coming back to the US wearing all the belts. And good for him. Good for him.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a rematch?
Oh my God! There's a rematch clause in the contract.
Yeah.
So I don't know. What I'm hoping for is that they just offer Kambosos some step aside money and say, here, just take this money up to the side. Let's get some of the other big fights going on.
Here, go have a Foster's. Go have a Foster's and chill out on the sideline. Great fight though. When you got a weekend like this of fights, man, there's always great fights going on. Definitely, this is one to talk about. Haney, Kambosos Jr. Maybe there'll be a rematch. Maybe there won't. Shout out to both Warriors, though. They put on a great display. Also, our man, Steve Fulton, came through with a big victory last night, unified the 122-pound world championships. What a dominant, unanimous decision over Danny Roman. It was a great one. My shout outs to Steve Fulton Jr., man, who is really dominating at the 122, and he's ready for anybody. Anybody is what he said last night. Did you get a chance to see this fight, Cedric?
No, I didn't. I'm gonna go back and catch it right after the show.
Definitely a dominant performance by our man Steve Fulton Jr. It's showing why he's the 122-pound champ. Shout out to him, man, and his great victory last night. If you guys haven't watched it, go back and watch it. It is a great display of boxing skill. And, it shows why Steve Fulton is sitting on top of the world in his 122-pound division. Definitely, you know what? A lot of people don't talk about this guy, but, man, he is one to watch. He is one to watch for sure.
Exciting fighter, yeah.
Yeah, definitely an exciting fighter. So, touching on those guys and, the fact that Joe Cordina is our knockout of the week, man. Shout out to you, brother. Joe Cordina, knockout of the week award over Kenichi Ogawa. To put that strap around his waist, man.
I wish I had your reaction on record when you called me, man. That was
my God, I know.
I don't care. There's knockout of the week. I don't care what else happens.
Oh my God, the knockout of the week.
Yes,
Jesus Christ, you guys gotta see this. Have you seen it yet? No, you haven't seen it yet. Well, then you gotta see it. Oh my God. He just killed him in the ring. Yes. I was so excited. I jumped up out of my chair, threw my crap all over the place. I was screaming when that knockout happened, man. It was so big, so exciting, guys. We are gonna drop it in the comments. You guys don't have to look far for it, man. But you heard it here at Knuckle Up, the Knockout of the Week award with your man Mike Orr and Cedric Ben, and doing what we do best, and that's bringing you the knockouts of the week from around the world. Don't forget, we have Donaire and Inoue happening in the next couple of days, man, on the 7th. Actually, tomorrow at 5 a.m. is when that one's going on. So I believe
it's Tuesday morning.
Yeah, Tuesday morning, 5 a.m. If you guys, for all those people out there in Fightland that are looking to have some fun, man, definitely check this one out. But we got to get to work, man, so they don't have to. So we're going to do what we do best, and that's go and do some fights, man. So to all the Knuckle Up fans, thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of the Knockout of the Week Award. You know what it is, man. We'll see you next time, same channel, new knockout. Shout out to our man Joe Cordina. Knockout of the week, baby.